For a single person, that's about $38,000. For a family of four, that's about $54,000. In addition, there will be 7 units set aside for what's called permanent supportive housing. This is to help address the homeless issue in the city. The mayor has made a goal of trying to eradicate homelessness by 2020 in the city. And so every affordable housing project is asked to set aside a few units specifically for people transitioning out of being homeless. So we have 7 permanent supportive housing units for that purpose. They'll be targeted to veterans. And there will be 7 units called targeted affordable housing units, and those will be targeting people at 30% of area median income. Let's see, what else we can. The project currently meets zoning as of right. It meets the 90-foot height limit, and it meets the setback requirements, so there's no special zoning relief being requested. It needs to provide 11 parking units. Those parking spaces will be provided in a parking garage that will be built next door in the market rate building. And before the parking garage is built, it'll be on a lot right next door where the market rate units will be. The project is being carried out by a team of the National Housing Trust Enterprise Preservation Corporation, which is a not-for-profit 501c3 group, and IBF Development, which is a local company, a CBE, who has done affordable housing in the city for 22 years. NHC Enterprise has done 9 different affordable housing projects in the city, all over in almost all the wards, 743 units of affordable housing, and they have a lot of experience in this area. Let's see if there's anything else. Well, the rents at the building will be $950 for a studio and going up to $1,221 for a 2-bedroom. Those rents are at least 50% below what market rents would be for comparable units. The building will have a fitness center. It will have a community room, it'll have a bike room, it'll have a rooftop pool, it'll have a lobby, it will have a lobby attendant. So it's going to look like a lot of the other market rate buildings that are currently in the neighborhood. If you can see this here, this is the building here. It's right next to Mount Carmel Baptist Church. And then the second phase will be the market rate housing that will be built right here. And I think I'm going to leave it right there and ask if there are any questions, other than to say we're asking for support from the ANC, a letter of support, a resolution to support the project that we've submitted for funding to the DC government. We've requested $7.9 million as a loan from DHCD. That is less than 1/3 of the total development cost of the whole project.
I have questions. I mean, I was not aware that there was going to be a homeless component or a homeless transitional component in there. And Pastor Evans of the Mount Carmel Church absolutely and adamantly opposed having the homeless shelter across the street. So I'm a little bit confused as to all of a sudden it's acceptable to have it in his building so he gets money, but not across the street?
No, he wasn't opposed. He was opposed to the process, just to tell you that he was not included in talking about the shelter. We're talking about the shelter where the city was going to put on the parking garage, which is directly behind this lot. He is supportive of this project. There's only 7.
We know because he owns part of it.
Well, he's not doing this project. This project, the land is being transferred to the National Housing Trust Enterprise Preservation Corporation for that. So this is not a shelter. This is affordable housing that has 7 units helping people transition from homelessness. And serving the homeless is part of the church's mission. That's what he said, and that's what he's committed to.
Anybody have any questions?
So just to be clear, the Zoning and Planning Committee did not have the benefit of the actual numbers related to the size of the loan and the grant that were being requested, so the committee did not make a recommendation.
Excuse me, I didn't hear that.
The Zoning and Planning Committee did not make a recommendation because the numbers related to the amount of the loan and the grant that were requested were not available at the meeting.
Okay. Me personally, I'm not gonna support it because this was not discussed with, I don't know, Alfredo, was it discussed with you? Because certainly, the people that I spoke to did not bring this up at all, that it was going to be, used in this way. So at the moment, I'm not willing to, unless there's going to be a social worker and services for these people. Is that part of the program that's
That is-
going in that building?
That is part of the program. Those 7 units come with dedicated support services provided by the Department of Behavioral Health. That's the only way they get put into the building.
But there'll be nobody on site to help these folks.
No, these are off-site caseworkers who come to the building periodically.
You can never know.
But that's the $294,000 grant from the Department of Behavioral Health is supposed to cover that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, my only question was, and I call it, you know, we're building a lot of 1 and 2 bed affordable housing. Where's the family affordable housing? So that was my main concern, like, it's family affordable housing. I mean, the affordability, we want to be able to afford it for everyone, not just 1 and 2 bedrooms and just a den.
Families, usually families have more than one child, and 3 bedrooms would be certainly be considered more, not more affordable, but of need. Have you considered doing anything for, families?
Well, not at this project, and for 2 reasons. One, this is phase 1 of a 2-phase project. The market rate and the affordable project are related. Both our amenities and our unit structure are related, have to be in the same proportion, have to be the same mix. So the market rate, 3-bedroom is not what the market is building, studios 1 and 2. Now, there's a huge need for studios 1 and 2s. A lot of the people who are formerly homeless need smaller units. There's 33,000 people who make less than 50% of area median income, who are rent burdened. They pay more than 50% of their income for rent. And they're not just families of 3-bedroom units. There's people in all unit sizes that need this housing.
So,
I think
are
more
we talking about
families.
people at the shelter, or are we talking about people? I mean, people who are trying to transition. I think a lot of people at the shelter be doing it 1 and 2. I mean, 1 in the bedroom and a den.
Our permanent support housing is targeted towards veterans, and so the veteran population is not a family population.
Start all over again. What did you just say? These apartments are for veterans?
The 7 units that are the permanent supportive housing units, the ones for the people who are formerly homeless, those 7 units are targeted towards people who are veterans. The whole project is 67 units. 7 units are targeted towards veterans who were formerly homeless.
7 out of the 67.
Yeah.
60.
And then how many are affordable
All.
housing? All of them?
All of the units are affordable housing. There's 7 specifically targeted to formerly homeless veterans.
But based
Again,
upon
this
this,
is part of a larger development that's going to have a market rate, a significant market rate component. So how many market rate units are there going to be?
There'll be approximately 268 market rate apartments built next door after the affordable section is
Phase
built.
2.
Yeah, that's phase 2,
Phase two.
exactly.
So you're building affordable first. and the market
Yes,
is-
that's part of the requirement. Most of this land was formerly owned by the RLA Revitalization Corporation many years, and then went through different iterations. And part of their stipulation was the affordable has to be built first or at the same time, because they didn't want the market rate to come and the affordable never be built.
Any other questions?
and who would these, do y'all have a list of people who you will put the affordability to? Because we have people who were displaced from different areas within this neighborhood, like Temple Court, I'm just throwing the name out there. Would some of them people be brought aboard to this, brought on part of your list for affordability?
These units will be marketed to the entire community. So whoever wants to apply can apply. We can't restrict the units. It's funded with some of the low-income housing tax credits, and you're not allowed to restrict it to, I couldn't restrict it to the members of the church or like different groups. You have to make it open to the public in general if they meet the income qualifications.
Well, I think what you're referring to is since Museum Square is being closed down, and that's 100% affordable, will you make some sort of a agreement that people who are being displaced from other low-income housing might get that. And when is this construction scheduled to start?
This construction would start in about June of next year, if everything was approved and went to the finance.
Any other questions? Any questions from folks out there? Okay, Alfredo, it's yours in your area. Do you want to make the motion? Do you want me to do it around? I'm making the motion for Alfreda, and do you want it to be supported or not supported? Okay. She's making a motion to support the development of Liberty Place Apartments at 3rd and I.
Well, specifically, we have to state that we are supporting the DHCD loan and the Department of Behavioral Health grant for the project. Yes. Correct. And I would second that. If that's your motion.
Yeah,
So you made a motion or demolished?
we both did. I
Okay.
mean, we kind of
And then-
combined
okay,
it.
then-
So we're asking you to vote for the money for the housing to be granted, the money for behavioral health, and to approve the project, to start the approval process for the project. All in favor?
Well, no,
Nope.
the only thing that we're being asked to do is just related to the financing.
Oh, okay,
That's true.
just to the
That is
two
true.
financial
Yeah.
things. Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm opposed. Any abstentions?
So 6-1-0.
610.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bow tie, are you here? Okay, want to come up? Followed by Catholic Charities, are you guys here? Okay. Can you hand me that? Just hand me?
Commissioners, I apologize for how I look. I found out about the meeting. Is there a hard copy of it for us?
What am I looking for? Oh,
When I was told there was an ANC Commission meeting yesterday for Tuesday, I assumed it was next week, and so therefore I was like this. I apologize. If I may, I can use that to walk you through what we are asking for.
I don't have it.
This is it.
Again, I apologize for how I look and for how unprepared it might appear that I am, but I can talk this through and also. Okay, so I'm one of the owners of the restaurant Bow Tie, which is located at the corner of 7th and P Streets Northwest. Last year, the commission approved our application for a sidewalk cafe along P Street, right across from the city market where the public art is. What we're asking for tonight is we submitted an application for the DDOT Public Space Committee to build a shade and rain canopy along P Street. We actually secured a Great Street grant for capital improvements, which is going to fund this in part. The amount of the grant is somewhere around $58,000. We expect this project to be about a $75,000 project. It's so expensive because we wanted to be special there. If you've been in our restaurant, one of the notable architectural features is our ceiling, which is intended to kind of mimic a shack back in Thailand, actually. And we want to bring that same architectural feature to the exterior. So it'll have a pitched roof, which should be in the materials somewhere up there, and that's not on what I have right now. But it will have a pitched roof that mimics our interior ceiling. It will have wood strips similar to the interior ceiling of different colors, and it will have, above the wood strips, it will have a clear but shade providing panels of slats that will keep the rain off our patrons. Among the reasons why we decided that we wanted to pursue something like this is that our outdoor seating is currently pretty barren, and and we don't attract much of a lunch crowd outside because the sun along P Street is just brutal in the summertime. And also when it rains, it throws our restaurant for a loop because all the diners from outside are forced inside. So we worked with the architecture firm Studio 3877, which designed Milk Bar and Momofuku in City Center. They also did Matchbox on 14th Street. And we think we've come up with a really neat design that will be also very helpful for us and for our Albert. And that is. So I guess I'm seeking your support for our public space application.
Any questions from commissioners?
How many tables are outdoors? Or what's the seating?
The seating capacity now is 50, and it's not changing. Yeah, it'll be the same.
They don't have any cameras on
We do. They're actually interior cameras facing outside. Yeah. The technology we use doesn't have an outdoor camera component, so they're angled outside.
You said the material would be what? It would be
So
a certain color, because I know certain neighborhoods, I don't believe it was this neighborhood, but they don't believe in like bright colors or something like that.
So it's we actually haven't finalized exact colors yet, but our interior ceiling is what we're referencing, and the colors on that are a natural wood, a light blue, and a dark gray. So somewhat muted colors, but I think we'll add some nice light to the street. We also plan lighting for it that will have a security component to it. There'll be ambient lighting when we're open, and then security lighting when we're closed.
So this is in my Singing River District, and I move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6C support the public space application for the Sidewalk Cafe enclosure for Bowtie at 1550 7th Street Northwest. And that we communicate that support to the Public Space Committee and the Director of the Department of Transportation.
I'll second. Any questions from anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Then it passes.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm so sorry for missing
You're fine.
the initial call. It's just
You're
how I
not
go
worried,
through,
you're
like,
fine. South Charities, are you ready?
Six, so she's not March, I didn't even notice that you were gone.
So good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. Meredith Moldenhauer from the law firm Griffin Murphy Moldenhauer Bacon, zoning and land use council. We're here for 3 alley lots that are located at 611, 617 Rhode Island Avenue. We are seeking relief to be able to construct 3 flats on these alley lots. We are seeking a variety of different areas of relief. They are a rhombus-shaped lot, so they actually have multiple diagonals on them. And as each lot, we are subdividing the lots, and as each lot gets smaller, we have Lot C, which is 100% compliant, and then based on the shape of the lots, as the shape changes, the degree of relief then changes. We have some areas of de minimis relief, but we are seeking lot size for all 3 lots, lot occupancy of 64% and 58%, and then we are seeking rear yard relief. One is de minimis at 18.8 inches with 20-foot rear yard requirement, and then one is 10 feet as it goes further down the site. So Ron can kind of walk through the project, but we've gone to the subcommittee. We've also been meeting with our neighbors, the neighbors that live on Rhode Island Avenue, that this would be, I guess, identifying a rear property to. Did not have an objection to the property. They were more talking about construction and acquisition and larger development options.
Okay.
Good. Thank you, Ron Schneider, Square 134 Architect. Just to give you a quick, I'll just quickly walk you through the set. This is overview, front page. This is Rhode Island Avenue across here. This is the alley, and these are the three identical proposed buildings on the slightly different sized lots. Again, there's the site, Rhode Island Avenue, 6th Street, and that's our site.
Any questions from commissioners?
How does the Cavachari's, did they sell the property? I don't understand.
They're still the property owners, they are the applicants, they are looking to sell the property, and they are seeking this relief in order to secure the funds for their programmatic needs.
Okay, so they're gonna redevelop it and then sell it
They're going to be selling it with the entitlements,
with the.
with the
Oh, okay.
entitlements.
So to clarify, Catholic Charities will continue to manage St. Matthew Malumba House, which is a transitional housing facility that occupies the old police substation that is adjacent to the property.
Yes, so they are not selling any other portions of their property, they're staying in the area and continuing on in their programmatic services to the community. They are simply selling these 3 alley lots pursuant to, and after hopefully seeking relief and seeking your support for the BZA.
And the zoning and planning committee did vote to recommend that the commission support this application.
Okay.
You're providing 1 parking space to the site and not asking for parking relief.
So the back of that property is facing the alley.
The front of the property faces the alley. So these are alley structures.
So the parking is in front of the property.
Yes, the parking is in the front, the parking is in the front. They'll be pulling off the alley and then into their garage.
So there's no rear yard?
There is a rear yard, so lot C is 100% compliant, it's actually over compliant, it's got 27 feet of rear yard. Lot B is less compliant because of the rhombus shape, and as it diagonals down, it's at 18 feet 8 inches, at a 20-foot rear yard, so it's only seeking a 2-foot relief. And then lot A, which is seeking the most area of relief, has a 10-foot rear yard.
So is there a fence on the back of all 3 properties?
There would be a fence in the back of all the properties, and actually we have a diagram, I believe, I don't know what page it is, that actually shows the distance is about like over 50 feet from the properties that actually front on Rhode Island. So in regards to the,
Oh,
Yeah,
62 feet, 50.
SD 3.0, they have a very deep rear yard.
Any other questions? Kevin, this is in your district.
Do you want to tell how the committee voted?
I already did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I move that ASC 6E support the BZA application for the Catholic Charities application for the 611 to 617 Rhode Island Avenue building.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Abstention? No, okay. You're good to go, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
1316 8th Street. Okay, moving on. Abra. We have 2 Abra cases. La Palm is on Massachusetts Avenue, renewal for their license. It's in my single-member district, and there is no opposition as far as we're concerned. So I make a motion that we support the renewal license for La Palm Corchadon or whatever. Cotulia.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Anybody opposed? Okay, 700. The other ABRA issue, a number of people in my community are asking for support to protest Busboys and Poets renewal of their liquor license, mostly due to noise and disruption to the community. We have had bands that are playing outside on the sidewalks that are not within the entertainment licensing area. And we've had construction in the middle of the night and deliveries in the middle of the night. And so whether or not this organization supports, gives a letter of support to the protesters, they are protesting in any case. But they've asked me to ask for a letter of support for the protest that they will be submitting to ABRA.
So Mark, let me just bullet point it. So what did we, when they're, I don't remember, because we do so many of the renewal ones, what did we say? Did we support their renewal when we did the? What did
There's
we-
someone
what-
coming up now.
Well, what did we do as a commission? We haven't done anything.
No,
Not in this case.
nothing.
So, I mean, what you have mentioned, and I don't know who these people are, so that's another thing, we don't know who they are, number one, so I'm not sure
What
how
do you mean, who they are?
But when you say when you wrote about the construction and all that has nothing to do with their liquor license.
Well, it
at
has
all.
to
That has
do
to do
with
with
the
building
noise.
management, the building management and the establishment. There's nothing to do with their liquor license, right? And you talked about refusing to take calls, that has nothing to do with their liquor license. And how many times, I guess the next question is, how many times have they been, has ABRA come out there and ding them? If this is such a big problem with which is, if that's a problem, that's fine, but how many times have they been dinged and fined?
I don't know if they've been fined, but they've been dinged over the last 8 years, probably 20, 25 times.
For what?
Noise, excessive
Whether they got
noise.
fined? I mean, this is like
They're
a
not-
solid answer. Have they gotten, like the whole DACA thing, have they been fined? Because as far
I
as
just
I
got
can
done
tell.
saying, Michelle, they have not been fined.
Okay.
And all I'm asking at this point is, these people have asked if the ANC will support protesting the license. That's all they're asking.
I don't think we have a reason to. We don't have a reason. to
The
support.
grounds would be peace, order, and quiet. Those are the standard grounds for any ABRA protest.
Next
The
thing
stuff
you're
that
gonna be
she-
saying, you need to move.
The only thing that Marge mentioned that we could talk about would be the noise from an outdoor band that we don't have the facts about, number one. Is that correct? We do not have the facts. So, I mean, I don't see how we can say we don't have any facts.
Then you can vote no. I mean,
I just-
because I will do it as a single-member district person. I will support protesting because it's in my single-member
That's
district.
fine. I
And
get
it's,
you, but-
you
So
know,
have we,
I don't think
have
it's-
we heard from the restaurant?
they aren't
Yeah.
interested in speaking about it.
I just feel as a whole, we can't say anything. We don't have enough information.
Oh, we can.
Well, I would say.
There's a standard process, for mediation, which is required by ABRA for any protest that allows any issues related to the operations of an establishment, to be discussed with the objective of reaching accommodations to address concerns from the community. So in order for us to be able to engage in that process, the ANC has to protest, otherwise we do not have the ability to engage in that process.
Well, we're not protesting. We're relaying a letter of support for Marge's Party of Five,
Oh,
right?
I misunderstood that. I
Right.
If the
That's what this is,
ANC
Marge.
is willing to protest, that's another
Right.
option.
But this tonight is you're looking for a letter of support for the Party of Five.
Well, I would
Right.
recommend that the commission protest the
Protest.
license.
We would like to have.
So what so there's two things tonight. This letter of support for the group.
Well,
what
if the
original
ANC
thing
She
was.
doesn't need a
protest.
motion yet.
If the ANC agrees to protest, then I don't need a letter. Because then the letter would be from the
Well, we
ANC.
can't.
So it's a
I'll-
choice of.
I'll
How
make
can
a
we-
motion
we have no
that
facts.
ANC 6E protest the renewal of the license for Busboys and Poets at, what's the address?
475K.
At 475 K Street, Northwest, and that we communicate that protest to the ABC Board and the Alcoholic Beverage Regulation Administration.
I'll second
Yeah.
it. And Kevin, you had a
But
question?
this is what Marge put down there for the 475 King Street folks.
We're taking an action.
And then when, I don't know, I can't go based upon someone's, I don't know, as,
I guess if you all live in a situation where there's no restaurants
but
underneath.
usually people will send out emails.
But you
they come
chose
to
that,
me,
Marge.
and
You
they'll come-
chose that.
And
This is, welcome to the
this-
big city.
And this is,
This is it.
I mean, trying to micromanage someone who's under an apartment building
But it's not micromanagement, it's trying to make sure that the establishment is a good neighbor. And the process for the
So
commission to
what
be
is
able
it?
to advocate for those constituents is to protest.
So how do we know,
I bet
we're
the-
commissioners, we live in totally different single mirror district. How do we know that this has been a bad neighbor?
Because
that's
that's
telling
what
you.
this commissioner is telling
Commissioner
you.
is telling you.
So I bet, Marge, the majority of the people that live in this building would be pro busboys. I would be shocked if the majority, am I right, that the majority would, it's this group of five and they.
No, there's no group of five, there's.
Well, then how are they protesting? They have to have a group of five.
They have more than five, they're more like 50.
But the
No.
entity is a group of.
Somehow I can't believe.
Yeah, I mean,
50 people. protesting.
Well, you can vote no. If you choose that, that's fine. These are, constituents have asked for the ANC to protest with them the renewal of the license based on the noise issue.
So just like with Dasha, or just like with Chaplin, when constituents have concerns, it's our, obligation to support the effort to try to address those negative impacts. And the process is for the commission to protest and then engage in mediation, that is managed by the ABC board staff in order to try to achieve a resolution. Very often you don't get to the point of having actually to have a protest hearing because it's, a settlement agreement is devised and agreed upon through this mediation process. But the process for the commission to be involved is to protest.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor
And a second.
and a second. If there's no other discussion, all in favor of supporting the protest, signify.
Question. Before you answer the question, just for my clarification, you said they have bands that play on the outside that disturb the peace?
Mhm.
Now,
Outside
live-
of their outdoor cafe area.
Now, I live, well, I guess peripheral blocks from there, I just never seen it happen. So I'm just trying to, not against you, I'm just trying to get an understanding. I've just never seen.
They have an
bands.
entertainment endorsement,
Okay.
but these bands are not in their outdoor cafe or inside of their restaurant. These are outside on the sidewalk.
So are they affiliated with Busboys and Poet, or are they other
Or
bands
police?
or road bands?
They are
or-
provided by Busboys and Poets.
When did this happen, Marge? I mean, we both live around there. I have
It
never heard of
happens,
that.
well, it
Never
did
seen
happen
it.
all of last